the forest. Hi, I'm Kaylee, and I'm here this morning. I'm getting ready to go to work, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the format of this going in. I've only got about 15 videos, so and I've been looking at a lot of videos on YouTube and how I'm doing a lot of research on trying to find other videos that talk about ADHD, and there's a few, and I've just noticed I'm trying to get my style, and I'm being very open about this, about the best way to talk about these issues. And I'm 51, and it's I know that in this day and age there's a lot of quick cuts that are, and I know that they tend to be, really catchy and like, ooh, wow, look at that, blah, 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 blah. But I feel like talking about ADHD, I don't think that's something that should be encouraged. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just old. But I really feel that, I'm probably not going to get the 20-year-olds because they're going to be like, why am I going to listen to a 51-year-old woman talk about her issues with anxiety and ADHD? I'm going to go over here and watch the squirrel going, "Rrr." And, I would like to be able to have a little bit more fun with this channel, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to do that. But I wanted to talk about distractions and media and electronics. I grew up in the 70s, as I've indicated. I'm 51 years old, and we didn't have computers. Wow. I had a TV, and I remember the TV, and this is before even having cable. I'm old. And I was a TV baby. I mean, I would come home after school and I'd turn on Gilligan's Island and or the Brady Bunch, and I remember watching, Saturday morning cartoons, which is like the most awesome thing ever. I swear, I miss that so much. I miss the feeling and the energy of Saturday morning cartoons. I really do. And you talk to anybody from the 70s, they'll tell you the same thing. It was just like, I don't know. But anyway, like getting up in the morning, like at 7 o'clock in the morning, and getting your bowl of cereal, and watching all these funny cartoons and Hanna-Barbera, and it was great. But anyway, so I evolved, and I went into the MTV generation, and I wanted to be a VJ, and I went into communications, and when I was in college, we didn't have cell phones, and we couldn't do selfies. We had these big, huge, like, cameras that, like, literally, they were like this big. I'm not joking, this big. And you had to, like, put it on your shoulder. I remember I had a video camera. It was about this big. I don't know if you can... And my cousin asked me to videotape her wedding, because that was what you did after you got out of if you got out of communications college. Like, oh, will you videotape my wedding? So we were in church. And see, this is the ADD thing. I'm going off on a tangent, but bear with me. So I'm like in the church, which is a Catholic church, by the way, and it was a very conservative Catholic church, and they didn't want anybody to videotape. They're like, and my cousin was unhappy because she's like, well, I want my wedding videotaped, and she didn't realize this was a restriction, and so she's like, just do it anyway. Well, it was kind of hard when you had this huge video camera, and I'm sitting there like this, like trying to be totally not videotaping their wedding. This big camera, like, kind of going, okay, I'm not videotaping. I mean, today I'd be like, yeah, whatever. I mean, you could have like a hidden camera on your glasses, and now it's not a big deal. But anyway, but back then it was just so. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So trying to find a way to communicate a lot of these things to people in an interesting way without doing all these random jump cuts. And I'm going through YouTube, and I notice this as you go through YouTube, all these different types of things. And there's so many. I mean, there's a lot of doctors on there talking about ADHD and, hi, I'm a doctor, and listen to me, and da 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 da. This is what you need to know about ADHD. I haven't come across that many vlogs. There's a few self-help ones. But one of the things that I notice about media and YouTube and just everything, and this is something that's been talked about, is how it aggravates our brain. Like it's overstimulating. It kind of makes us more distracted, more less able to concentrate. It can kind of, see, I can't even talk this morning. I'm still drinking my coffee. Anyway, but but yeah, it's just like, and I have noticed that if you go on YouTube and you have these videos and they do all these quick jump cuts, bam, 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 bam. And it's like, I watch some of these and they're so overused. And I find that it makes my brain hurt. And while some of them can be like, oh, people with ADHD like bright colors and distracting like quick cuts because they've got low attention, they've got low attention things, so you got to keep them occupied. I'm like, no. I completely disagree. I mean, maybe this is a generational thing, but I think that it's hard enough as it is to help your brain calm down, which is something that people with ADHD have to do, to calm the brain, to make it so it's silent. That's why meditation is so important. That's why like silence and calming things to calm the brain, rather than amp it up. So when people sit there and go, oh, well, kids these days are so distracted and you have to like do these quick cuts and you have to have like, and it's completely opposite of what I believe personally. I've lived with ADHD consciously my entire life. Wasn't like living my entire life as an adult not knowing I had ADHD. I had known I've had ADHD since I was like 11 years old. So I've had a long time to really observe this, and something that I've, really tried to work on. And I'm not good at it because I've got ADHD. But I don't really think that a lot of technology is really good. Here I am hypocritically talking in front of my cell phone. And I know that I am on my cell phone a lot because that's just, that's my little pocket computer. And I come home and I watch my TV screen and I watch a lot of YouTube videos. And I go in and out, and I know that I need to do better. I live in a really beautiful, that's why it's like, I love nature, and I think it's really important for folks to get into nature. But I think that definitely it is really important to minimize. And of course, this is do as I say, not as I do. But I do really believe that it is really important to, shoot. Hi, back again. my timer that I set for myself for my task just went off and interrupted my video feed. I get technologically frustrated. I really do. I have techno frustration because I don't think that people that design this technology really think about people and how we use it and how we interact with it. And there's always like pop-ups. It's a little bit better now, but on Facebook a while back, if you got onto like if you select a notification for a group, you would get all those pop-ups on the lower left-hand side. drove me nuts. I could never figure out how to turn it off. And I think they've changed how they operate, which I'm like, thank you for turning that off, because that was really distracting. You know, it's like all this random stuff is out there trying to get your attention, like advertising and this and this and this and this, but never the really important stuff. Oh, hey, you've got an appointment. Hey, you've got to like take your medication. Hey, you've got to, you know, do this thing. So it is really frustrating. It's like, it was really frustrating that my timer went off because it interrupted my train of thought. Anyway, so as I said, you know, I'm hoping that this video channel will be visually interesting to folks, and I'm hoping that my hand motions will be we'll be able to do that. See, we'll be able to do that for you instead of quick editing, because I don't have time for that stuff, you know. Anyway, this is morning rambles, but it was something that I was thinking about. The other one quick thing, and I'm going to talk about this in another video. Wait right there. So, something just fell. One of the things that I know that on most cell phones that they've got, and this is another related part, because what I want to talk about, and I'll talk about a little bit more succinctly, is how technology and computers and cell phones and just everything that is beaming into our heads is actually amping up and making our ADHD worse, okay? So one of the other things that I've been really wanting to do better about, again, this is my journey, and I know that I need to do these things and I don't do them. So part of doing this video is to help me be a little bit more conscious about what I need to do, and because I know that I know I need to do this, and I know that it would be really helpful to let other people know to do this. So one of the things is, like, as I distracted, is that, you know, on your cell phones, on most cell phones, they have a feature that at like about 6 o'clock at night, it will turn off the blue screen. And this is something that they've been talking about, how blue screen light, or the blue light, the bright bluish white light, goes in your blood, it affects your melatonin, and it can screw up your sleep. And I'm bad. I lay in bed and I get on my thing and I read a book, or well, actually, I mostly read my Facebook feed. Or I'll watch a video, or I'll read the news, which is really bad sleep hygiene. Very bad. I need to do better. But sometimes I will actually pick up a real book, the paper things, you know, those things that they have where they've got pages in them. Yeah, one of those. And I'll read that, and like, I read a paragraph and I'm asleep. So, but anyway, before I do that, I'm on my computer screen and I have a second monitor, and it's for this bright white light. I can't turn it off. I can't turn the tone of the light. I don't know. I haven't figured out how to do it. And years ago, I was at a store and they were selling these glasses. And these are actually, I think they were calling them chakra glasses or something, and they all came in different colors, like they had purple and red, and you like supposed to wear them, and they were supposed to affect light coming into your brain, etc., etc., etc. So I picked up a couple of these. I have a darker one, I think, but there's a company called Raw Optics, and I need to look more into them and what products they sell, but basically the theory is that you want to block this blue white light coming into your brain, so your melatonin shuts down, and so you're able to, or your sleep patterns better. And so I got these years ago, and occasionally I will wear them while I'm watching thing. And I need to do better about doing this, because I want to do an experiment and see if my sleep is actually better. But I should probably be doing this. But there's a company, and I'll talk more about it later, about Raw Optics, and they actually sell blue blocking sunglasses, and or blue blocking glasses, not just sunglasses, but blue blocking. They call them blue blockers. But this is this other company, and they have kind of a spiritual thing about how light and information and how it affects our brain. So, but I'll talk about that more later. I'm going to research that company a little bit more. They're in my Facebook feed. But anyway, this is kind of a rambly morning post about technology and light and everything. So I'll probably get this posted sometime later on this morning. And I hope everybody is having a good morning, and I hope that they're starting off on their day well. And I thank you very much for joining me. And you have a great day. Thanks. Remember to subscribe. Thanks.